really looking forward to today. So let me just see. I've got now trying to see if I could get her in as well. Honestly.
Oh my God. Oh.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh. Nick. Oh, that's oh, yeah, we can hear you now. Honestly, we've just been saying, like, there's the universe at the moment and all the stars aligned and all of the blooming new moons. You're getting technical problems with the bloody internet. So I've been trying to press the right button. I can't get you in. I'm like,
I'm so, I swear I'm a dinosaur because I'm so shit at this stuff. So it's probably me, guys. It's probably me.
It's not only you.
So Nicola, welcome to the show. We're really excited to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Obviously, I know like you're a model, and like you, when I saw you, I was like, wow, you look so young. I thought, my God, what do you use? But tell us about your modelling career. What's like the best thing about modelling?
So I've kind of retired now because I'm nearly 40. So I think that if I started getting my boobs out again, my 15-year-old would kill me. So I did it
for you, sweet. Didn't you used to have some of it before?
No, I wasn't going to ruin these babies for nobody. So yeah, I loved modelling. If there was still opportunities, I would do it. I wouldn't do topless modelling anymore because I am that bit older, but I absolutely loved modelling. I really did, and it led me to be able to do loads of reality TV and then move on to being a panellist. So I've been super lucky. Yeah. I'd say my favourite thing about it was I got to go to the Playboy match to meet Hugh Hefner, and I'm just like a massive fan. Yeah, and that was amazing.
Oh, yes. What's that like? Because you see, I've seen the reality show and I thought it looks so
I love it.
fun.
It was brilliant. I was only 19 and I was super sensible. Then I didn't drink. Like, well, how stupid of me to go to the Playboy match. Yeah, so I was really sensible. So I actually turned down the magazine because I didn't want to do nude modelling because I had a vision for TV and just didn't think it was the right thing to do. But I definitely wanted to go there and experience the mansion. So to be able to go and experience it and still stay true to my models, even though I'm a massive fan of anyone that's done it. I'm a huge Pamela Anderson fan, so it's not like a judgment, it just wasn't for me. But just to go, and I actually went to Hugh Hefner's 75th birthday party, and everyone was just walking around like naked with like body painting on, and it was like a huge celebrity. It was just like amazing for a 19-year-old girl from a Camden Town Council estate. It was just like mind-blowing.
Oh, fantastic. You know what I love about you, Nicola, is that on certain programs, when people try to have a go at you, you stand your ground. Yeah. And, you know, many times I've watched you when people have had a go. For instance, were you on Big Brother?
Yeah, with Kim Woodburn.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I do know Kim, not sort of just voice-wise in that. I can take people to a certain part, but when she had a go at you in those circumstances, how did you feel, and was there more that you wanted to tell her?
So with Kim, it was a really odd one because when she walked into the show, like when she walked in, she was a late arrival to Big Brother for anyone that hasn't watched it. So I'd already been in there for say 10 days, and she came in. And I was explaining to her that everyone was really nice and we was all getting on. And if she wanted to get on with people, we could have a really nice time. Like it was, we all had got on so well and bonded. And from that moment, she absolutely hated me. She was like, oh, and you're trying to control the house. I was like, no, I'm just trying to survive. Do you know what I mean? Big Brother allowed it to happen because I think if it wasn't...
Good TV for them, you see.
It's good TV, yes.
But I think TV. If I wasn't so good at portraying, I mean, I am outspoken, I'm really outspoken, but if you meet me in real life, like I'm really easygoing, like I'm always laughing, I'm always smiling, like I never really argue with people. It's only if you really push me and then I explode. Yeah, and then I explode, and I'm quite a defensive person as well. Like there's a lot about me that I've never spoke about and I never will speak about. I'm extremely defensive of myself because I feel like I'm the only person that can never really have my own back. Do you know what I mean? So if you keep on prodding me, you're going to get it. Do you know what I mean? You are going to get it. I'd rather not. I'd rather we get on and just have a glass of fizz.
That's what I loved about. That's exactly what I loved about you. You stood your ground, and you know, I saw at that moment a very strong young woman, and I think even though you must have felt awful, people watching could see the strength in you, and it was great to see.
I'm not a nasty person, so if I say something nasty, I mean it.
Yeah.
And I don't care. Like, I don't care if I've hurt you because you've done it to me first. So then, so with someone like Kim Woodburn, no, I like the little bits I've watched back, I do laugh at myself and I'm like, oh, you're a lunatic. But then I think she bloody deserved it. I should have said worse.
What was being in this I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here like?
Oh, that was a dream come true, because that was like, I remember being 19 when it first started again. 19 was a good year for me, wasn't it? And so I was 19 and I remember sitting in the front room with my mum. I still lived at home and I said to my mum, oh, I'm going to do that show one day. And I wasn't a celebrity. I was a well-known page 3 girl, but I certainly wasn't a celebrity. My mum said, how? I said, oh, I don't know. You just watch. I'll do it. I was an army cadet as well. So I loved stuff like that. I was going to join the army before my boobs were so great that I could earn money from them. Yeah, I said to my mum, oh, I'm going to do that show. And she was like, how? Like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, mum, just wait and see. And then a good few years later, they called me up and I didn't get it that year. And I wasn't gutted. I was like, it's great that I'd been given the opportunity to be in front of such big execs on a huge programme. And then the year after that, I didn't get invited for an audition or whatever you call it. And then the year after, they invited me back and I knew I actually got the bus there. I'm so cute, honestly. I got the bus there. I got the bus and I was like sitting on the bus so excited, like, oh my God, this is so cool. And I knew I got on the bus back and I phoned my agent. I said, I've got that. I just smashed it. She was like, did you? I was like, yeah, it was brilliant. I knew. I just knew. They called a couple of weeks later and said, she nailed it, we'll take a chance. And I got 80% of that year's press that year, so they definitely was happy with me. But yeah, I just loved it. I mean, getting to be on probably one of the most iconic shows and Deck, I just felt super lucky.
Nicola, there was obviously you are known for being opinionated. What's the most like controversial debate you've ever had or you've ever got into?
Oh, I don't know, actually. I think the one that caused the most headlines was me and Kim Woodburn. I think that was kind of the most controversial, and people, majority sided with me, but definitely when she tried to play that card that I'd read her autobiography, which honestly on my life I really hadn't. I mean, I've got a bookshelf over there and I don't think I've picked up a book in years. I've got a cheat to tell my kids they need to read because I'm not a reader. No, Daily Mail is for me. So I think Kim Woodburn, I mean, do you know what? Actually, I'm really measured in normal debate. So I'd say Kim Woodburn, wasn't a debate, it was an argument. So it wasn't measured. But I'd say in a debate for work purposes, I'm measured. I can kind of always see that they're at the other person's side. There's never usually just one side to an argument. It's your opinion. And I'm there to put my opinion across, which obviously I do well. But I can also see, I did a grooming storyline debate with a Codie actor. Yeah. And I really disagreed with the fact that they were bringing grooming into front rooms when, at the time, Striker, my youngest, would have been 8. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want my 8-year-old to know about grooming, from a Codie storyline. But when I actually listened to this guy who was the groomer in Coronation Street speak, and he was saying, the amount of children that are being groomed online and they don't have open relationships like you do with your kids, and I am giving them a voice. And I was like, you're right, actually. I can't argue with that. I'm not going to argue a point do you know what? You're right.
Nicola, can I ask you, if you could write a letter now to your 18-year-old self, what would you say?
Do everything exactly as you've done it, because it's been brilliant. It's been a ride, like literally. There's been some highs, some lows. I've had some personal struggles. I've overcome really severe anorexia. But you know what? I'd do it all again. I would just do it all again. I've had the best time. I've got an amazing husband. He played football, so I've loved going and watching him, and I love football. So I didn't before I met him. I've been groomed, guys. I've been groomed in my own house.
Is he a professional footballer? Your husband?
He was a professional footballer. He's retired now. We're both retired. That's fun, isn't
it? Who did he play for?
I played for lots of different teams. He played for like QPR and Swansea. So he played for but I'm a Swansea fan now because I love living there. But yeah, and then I got to have two. Well, I've had two amazing kids, which I'm so lucky. Like I've got this 15-year-old, and everyone keeps going, "Oh, you're getting all the mood swings, the hormones." I'm like, no, he's a dream. He's literally a dream. He's like my best friend. I'm praying it stays that way. And then I've got my 11-year-old, who I must admit is a bit like me though. He's a bit opinionated, which is quite funny. Yeah, it is quite funny. The only thing is that when he shares his strong opinions, I laugh because I'm like, go for it. But not a lot of people think that I should encourage this, because you see this 11-year-old like, no, I'm sorry, I totally disagree with that. I'm like, go on, do it. But my husband's like, do you think you should have told him? I'm like, tough now, it's too late, isn't it?
It's too late, he's doing it.
I laugh. I find it very entertaining. So yeah, I've had a brilliant life. I really have. And I've got to do things that I would, if I could write a letter to my 10-year-old self, I would say, don't stress, everything's going to be all right. If I could say something to my 18-year-old self while I started doing page 3, I'd go, that's the best decision you ever made to get those boobs out, girl.
Have you written a book about yourself?
No, I would never write a book, and I tell you why. It would be very good. I can't lie to you. I'd want to read the book.
Yeah,
I think that it's not just your life. So when you decide to write an autobiography, you're writing about your parents' life, my sister, who means the world to me. I'm writing about my husband's life. And I don't think that's fair, because I feel like I've made a choice to be in this industry and they haven't. And even if I don't name them, or even if you'll know my childhood experience is going to be the same as my sister's, so therefore I'm telling my sister's story, and I just that doesn't sit right with me. Like, I'm here to have my own voice, and I can say whatever I want about me, but I'm not going to give away my parents' life and my sister's life and my husband's life, because that's not their choice. And I would never go to them and ask them to make that choice either, because they would say yes for me because they're all supportive and they love me. But I don't think that my sister would hate it. I mean, for my wedding, it was an okay wedding, and she was mortified. She was like, I'm not being in any of the pictures. I was like, you're my maid of honor. You've got to. She was mortified. She's, we're a family that's not at all in this industry. And my sister's not one of those sisters that goes, oh, my sister's got a little bit of fame, I'm clinging on to it. She's like, whoa, I'm way over here. I don't want anything to do with it. So no, a book's not an option for me, because when all this is over, which it will end, and that's absolutely fine. When it's all over, I can sit there in front of my family and know that I've definitely behaved the right way for them, Yes.
So maybe a children's story.
I think I'm too X-rated with my language. I could do a book on swearing for them.
Yeah. I think we should all be a little bit more Nicola. I love that.
Really? Be a bit more Nicola.
I think that's so lovely. And Nicola, I've had, honestly, you made us laugh so much.
Oh, good. I've loved it, guys. I don't want to stop. Let's just carry on talking.
I thought, I'd love to talk. I thought, I said to the girl, I said to the girl, she hadn't had a chance, and Sally, I said, if I'm filming, I said, I'd love to have Nicola on the panel all the time. I think you're great fun. And you've got a great opinion. And I love that. And
lovely.
I love that book. Yeah, I think it's been really interesting talking to you.
Thank you so much. I've loved speaking to you guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Nicola. Bye-bye, darling. Bye-bye.
I love it. She's really lovely, actually, wasn't she? You never know what she's going to be like. Codie, hi.
How are you?
You're good. We didn't get the memo. Yeah, we didn't get the memo. You're very handsome, Codie. Brown and great teeth.
Oh, dare they? Thank you, lady.
So, Codie, you're a musician, aren't you? And what inspired you to get into music?
So originally, I left home age 16, and I was actually a painter and decorator with my dad for about 10 years. Yeah. And then it got to the point where I thought, oh, I don't want to be doing this anymore. But what do I actually want to do in life? I always said to my mum when I was a kid that I always wanted to be a singer. And she'd go, yeah, because I was a little terror. I was a little embarrassed.
I can't believe that.
I can see it in his face. He looks like my son when he was
cheeky.
Yeah, like my boy when he was little. I love him.
Well, I decided to. I had some time to sort of think about what I wanted to do in life, and I said, you know what? Actually, I do want to be a singer. I don't want to be, as much as I loved doing it, I didn't want to be painting walls for the rest of my life. You know, it's just it was got to the point where I'd had enough, sort of, and I just thought, you know, I want to go down this path. So I started writing some songs. I got in touch with some production companies and some. I started doing some session singing and bits. And to be honest, when I first started, I was pretty crap. You know, I was pretty crap. It was all auto-tuned. I sounded like a little Wayne when he, you know, I share, believe in love after life after love. You know that.
Now you believe in love. I know.
I sounded like I did sound like a robot for the first couple of years as I was exploring, trying to find my voice.
Yeah.
Gradually over the years, you know, I just kind of self-developed and you know, just started networking. And I went away to Greece and did a 7-month tour with the Jersey Boys, which was fantastic.
Oh, did you?
Such a great.
Yeah, so
How much fun!
It was fun. It was good fun, but it was you know, it was really hot out there. So it's peak summer season, and it's I can't complain, to be honest. It was only an hour to an hour and a half a day, so it was barely anything. And, you know, now it's sometimes it's long days. You know, I've done 24-hour days before, but so that was nothing. But I think it really gave me the boost I needed to take performing seriously. You know, I had experience with performing on stages to different audiences. Some audiences hated the songs, some audiences loved them. But I think it gave me a balance to be able to control audiences.
The experience, isn't it? You've got to get the experience somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Following that, I did. Actually, no. Before that, I tried out the X Factor. We were put together as a band, and we made it to the 6-chair challenge. But actually, the thing I loved most about that was the fact that we got to perform to 10,000 at Wembley, and that was at that moment. Although we wasn't successful, you know, any further than the 6-chair challenge. But I think that was the highlight for me, because I've never in my life performed to that many people, you know, and that was sort of like a confidence boost, and that sort of gave me a little bit more drive to want to perform at bigger venues to bigger audiences and things.
Now you've got a record out, haven't you?
I've got about 5 records out now, but the one that I'm currently is going to be released on the 23rd of July. Stop right now, and that's my baby. It's the only song that I feel I've taken seriously. I'm doing things the right way this time around. I've never done a music video. I've got someone to create a lyric video, and I wrote the song 6 years ago. It's a lot to do with mental health and how I was feeling when I was in quite a bad mental place. You know, I was having these strange thoughts and thought, how can I get through this mental stage I'm going through? And I thought, okay, I'll write it down on paper. And then, you know, over the years, I've had some nightmares with producers that have tried changing the track and tried saying it like this, change this word because they want a little cut, you know, songwriters' rights. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to change anything. I think the song, you know, everything that's written, how it's written is my story. And I don't want anyone to just come and have, you know, 5 minutes just to change a lyric for the sake of 20% or whatever, you know, it would take. I thought it's going to stay as it is. We worked around the concept, the general beat, you know, the instrument. We added some tracks, some samples and some guitars and live instruments, and I couldn't be more happy with it. So I'm looking forward to.
Fantastic! I've listened to a bit of it because have you listened as well, Anna?
Yes,
I've listened to the bit of it. Is it
where
can you find it? Where can people go and find it?
So it's going to be in 80 countries, and it's going to be released on over. Well, actually, every single listening platform in the world. So it'll be on this.
Congratulations!
Fantastic! Fantastic! Absolutely.
Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, all of the big ones. I'm just really looking forward. It's actually available to pre-save now. So if you go in iTunes and search Codie West, stop right now. Find it. You can get it ready. Put it on your playlist whilst on the day.
Yes.
Well, it's got a good title, Stop Right Now, because it's also it's Stop Right Now. Thank you very much.
You know what? At the time, I didn't actually think of that, but it was only till later on, you know, because I used to be a massive fan of the Spices when I was a little kid, you know, and it was only until I heard the song on the radio, I was like, oh, I knew I got the name from somewhere. It must have been, it must have been, you know, in my mind. But the actual chorus is "Stop right now," you know. So I actually, yeah, I couldn't have chose a more familiar name, could I? Really?
When you had your dark periods and you were writing this, how did you come through it?
Do you know what? I think it was a case of actually not allowing myself to suffer anymore. And I was in a tricky place because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do in life. I didn't know what I wanted, but I did know that I wanted to work for myself, and I wanted to start pursuing my dreams, you know, in any sort of way I could, any sort of avenue. And I think the positivity, you know, and the dedication, it's been a long slug, you know, and you know, we're still constantly learning. Now I'm still learning, still networking and bits like that. And I think it's the drive actually that actually getting to the point in your life where you realize actually, you know what, this is what I want to do, and regardless of what anybody says or regardless of what doors or obstacles get in your way, you just need to put your head down and really focus. And once you start believing that you're good enough,
you are,
you know, to do what you want to do out of life, then you are good enough. The main thing is to just not give up or think that you're not good enough for something, because you know the world's your oyster, and you know you never know what opportunity is going to come your way, but you just don't know unless you try. You know,
you have to call on the universe for help as well.
Yeah,
and exactly what I do. Number 11 is my baby. Number 11's guiding me.
And 11 is you're on the right life path, so that's really positive.
You know what?
Okay, I didn't know.
Number 11 is there's some things that just, unless you're going through it, I know obviously if you start seeing a number, you see it more when you see it again, but there's some certain things that I can't really understand. And it's only when I looked back, you know, like a year and a half ago when I met my ex-partner, that we actually recorded our first song on the karaoke at 11 p.m. And then we moved out, and the apartment was all a load of stress, you know, trying to find an apartment. I called a friend, found us an apartment in Marbella, and the number was 611. We flew, on the day we flew to Marbella, we just popped into Burger King, you know, off the plane. Yeah. And it was order number 11. About a year later, we flew to the UK and stayed in a hotel in Gatwick. Yeah. I didn't know what room I was going to get. You know, I just checked in. They said, here's your room card. Your room's number 11. I was like, okay, you're joking now. And then it started, honestly, the same hotel they had a separate spa. Yeah. We went over to the spa, which is a totally separate building to the hotel. You don't need to give any room number or anything. You just pay a fee and you go in. And I said, excuse me, have you got a locker key, please? And he said, sure. No. And he had no, I kid you not. He had all of these locker keys in these little boxes that you pull out. He pulled it out. He goes, there you are. Looked at it. It said number 11 on it. I was like, right, okay, this is getting really weird now. Yeah. So we decided to go for some food in the restaurant in the hotel.
Yeah.
Well, I just ordered, you know, like a chili con carne or something like that. And I went to the bar to order the food, and they said, just put one of these sticks on your table. And he just pulled out a random stick. And this is someone that I haven't seen, haven't given my room card to. They didn't know what room I'm in. Handed me number 11. I was like, okay. Strange. Talking about number 11, I had a friend come over to visit us whilst we was in the hotel. And we went out to Crawley. We were staying in Gatwick, so we went out to Crawley to like a bar. And as we were talking about the number 11, a taxi pulled up beside us. Yeah. And it just had the number 11 glowing on the top of it. I was like, you see? And since then, it was, you know, been seeing the number 11, and it's just a lot of, it's just had a lot of, you know, a lot of strange things have happened. Like one of my bestest, closest friends was in a coma due to a motorbike accident. And the only time I could get over just happened to be the 11th day that he was in the coma.
Oh, my life.
And yeah, so there's a lot of things that are quite unexplainable.
Yeah, synchronicity. Yeah.
And it's beyond the point of where it's become a coincidence. It's actually like
absolutely.
There's another power out there, and I'm certain
there is. There really is.
It doesn't matter how I can put it across to people. I think if you've been through these situations and you can really understand them, or if someone like-minded has been through these situations, you know, And then my partner started meditating and actually learning about law of attraction, things like that.
Good. That's what I was going to say to you.
You've got us. This is what we do.
You've come to the right place, Codie.
You know what? Yeah. I didn't actually know that I'd actually been manifesting and my way of life and the things, my life choices. I didn't know that that's what I was doing until my partner, my ex-partner, started training and learning about the laws of attraction and opening your third eye. And I didn't know that that's how actually I'd been living my life, my whole life.
Yeah.
Before, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know why these things happened and why I was able to find a way of getting things that I wanted, you know, with not much struggle, you know.
The universe, when you ask for something, when you ask for it and you ask for it in the right way, you have to ask, believe, receive. There's three things: ask for it, believe, receive, and it has to give it to you. It's like when you turn on electricity, it has to come on, unless you haven't paid the bill.
I've had that a couple of times in my life when I was a bit younger. Oh, yeah. Those are the terms.
You've got to the place, Codie, honestly.
But if you think about it, you think you want something, then you start talking about it, and then you make it happen. So it's exactly the same principle. It's that holy trinity, really, of thought, word, and, as you said, it's ask, believe, and receive. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's a universal concept.
Absolutely. I think if you want something enough, there's no reason why you can't have it.
Yeah.
I just don't know. There's no reason, you know, that we just think there's a reason why we can't get what we want, or why we're not doing what we want, or why we haven't achieved a certain amount of success or you know, in our life.
The beautiful thing is you've got this record. I think it's going to be fantastic.
So
yes.
I believe in this one. This is because it's my baby, and I wrote it 6 years ago. I think that all of this stress and over these years, multiple producers trying to do things with it. The guy that's actually mastered it, he's done Pink, Beyonce, Christina Aguilera, and he's done Little Old Me. And I'm like,
oh, how exciting!
You know, and I just think, I believe in it.
Yeah. So we're going to put your details, Codie, below so everyone can find your link, and then and please everyone download it. We want Codie to be huge, and we already know it. See it. You're so lovely.
I love that. Oh, thank you so much.
No,
it's great speaking to you all.
It's lovely to meet you.
I could chat forever. We'll have to go out for a cocktail or something, or a coffee.
That would be lovely. That would be really nice.
I would like that.
When we have our garden party here, you come over. Be lovely.
Yes,
have some jerk chicken.
I couldn't remember. I couldn't tell you the last time.
We'll do that.
Rice and peas, please.
Codie could sing, maybe. That would be fun.
Sing with me. We'll sing together. We'll have a little sing together.
Let's get a PA system and get it going. Let's do it.
Are you going to be doing a tour, Codie?
Not just yet. I've got to organise my launch party for my. Oh, we can all come to the launch, ladies. All come to the launch.
Oh,
we're gonna have a launch party in London. For the single, it's going to be a day before my birthday. I'm not sure on the date whether it's going to be on my birthday or on the release date of the single, which is the day before my birthday. But we'll talk.
It'll be lovely. Please talk.
You would have to have it on the 11th of the month, actually, I think.
Actually, do you know what? My single, it was available for pre-save on the 11th.
No.
On the 11th of June. That's the pre-save date. So it's available now.
You have to coordinate this one, so it launches on the right date.
The launch is on the 23rd of July, but I'm planning on having the launch either on my birthday, the day after. It's got to be, I don't know, I want to take care of this one. It's my baby, you know.
Yours on the 22nd of September then?
23rd of July. 23rd of July is the release date for the single. 24th of July. 24th of July is my birthday.
Oh, best of luck, Codie.
Yeah.
All the very best, Codie. Lovely talking to you today.
Lovely talking to you, indeed, and best of luck.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I don't think you need it. I can see a star.
No, he's going to be rich and famous. You know this.
Well, ask the universe to make it big for you.
Yeah.
I hope so.
You will receive.
I think everything happens for a reason, doesn't it?
Indeed,
it does.
indeed.
So lovely talking to you, Codie, and we'll see you soon. We will do.
Yes, see you soon.
Take care, lots of love. Bye, Codie.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye, Codie.